So I asked for a sign yesterday or the day before yesterday and yesterday. I've actually been asking for a sign every single day. And I found a lot of information that validated most of the signs that I had or that I was asking for. But there was something really interesting yesterday that happened. And I was asking Source, not a religious God or anything, if I really am who I've known myself to be from beginning, like the beginning. I remember things when I was a baby, and the memories I had when I was a baby weren't of the life I was living as a baby. Growing up, when I was around 5 or 7, somewhere between when we left Iran in 1983, and we got to Germany around 1983 and 1984, around then. And we were there for like 10 or 11 years. While I was in Germany, I wasn't just in Germany. I guess we're really doing this, aren't we? I mean, look at the fucking state of the world. You may as well know who you're talking to. I mean, there's no point in looking at me when you're talking. Like, I don't need you to focus on my face. I need you to imagine what I'm telling you. And to really comprehend the gravity of what I'm telling you. There are people on this planet who are human, who are natural born ancient people that have a deep connection to the planet. We'll call them children of Gaia. These children of Gaia have have abilities, just like Gaia herself. These children of hers have the spark of creation in them. The way to use that spark of creation to be godlike is to use joy, imagination, action, and, well, emotion is part of joy. Imagination, thought, and action. And emotion somewhere in there to fuel your power. It's easier if I explain this to you in a magic, like multiplayer online kind of game. Human beings, the children of Gaia, are basically not basic at all. What a cute skateboarder. I love skateboards. Like, I want to see floating skateboards and like rocket powered skateboards and teleporty skateboards. They're awesome. I used to see kids in Germany playing on skateboards so much. At least I think it was Germany. Anyway, the children of Gaia, they frickety frick. You guys are like magicians, or fairies, or elves, or pixies, and things of that sort. Things that can manifest what they dream and imagine, okay? But there are also beings that can't imagine. So you know how like dogs have a special thing that dogs do. Cats have a special feline trait. Humans have the trait of the Gaia, of Sophia. Now, what I'm telling you has nothing to do with any religion, okay? I respect and honor your religion, whatever it is, but religion is a division tool that has caused massive amounts of bloodshed in the name of gods that don't really seem to intervene in any mundane human way. If it was up to me, I'd bring all the gods down to earth and have them walk this earth and be like, see, this is what people are doing in your names. Do you approve? Because if you do, you should be stripped of your godly power. No god should be given the power of creation when they are using it to destroy life. Now, having said that, what do you think beings that cannot imagine, that have distorted their ability to create and caused so much chaos and destruction, what do you think those beings that are powerless would do when the only thing they've lost is their power, their imagination, but they still have their intellect and their knowledge? Think about it like an evil genius. Think about it like you're the most evil creature in existence. You see, a species of fairies, like let's just use fairies for an example. You see a species of fairies and they have no leader, they're on a planet, they're peace loving, they're, male and female, they're male and female, and they're male and female in one. So there's no need for like anything. Like nature has completely evolved this species in a way where it's like mini forces of nature on the planet. Now, if I was an evil genius, mastermind, or you can use the satanic words or any of that, all of which are just magic, and all they're doing is utilizing tulpa, a thought form that has been fed so much energy from different civilizations and lifetimes and planets that the thought form has become conscious in a way. But it's still basically an overgrown Pokemon. Now, think about that for a minute. And if it was me, I would use my intellect to control that species, to utilize their own imagination against them with illusions, to get them afraid, for them to release a fear energy. And then I would harvest that fear energy and utilize it to create with it. But since fear energy cannot be used to create love-based things, and I don't mean love like, oh, I'm going to hug you. I mean love, the force of creation that is pure chaos and order all in one. There's no division between it. It's pure everything. Fear energy is the lack of everything. It is the absence of something. So I would use their own power against them. Generation after generation, I would continuously traumatize these species so that eventually they would forget through genetic memory who they were and what their powers were, and they would be afraid to use their power because I would have utilized some way to show them the horror of their own power, to show them that even a poison ivy vine can kill. It's so scary that bees can destroy you, that dinosaurs roam the earth and they're gonna eat you, and there's this and that. Like, I would use every trick in the book because I wouldn't care, because I wouldn't be vibrating on love. I would have no mercy, no compassion, no remorse. Well, what does it matter? It's just energy. Now, if I can imagine this, and if I can put myself in a situation, regardless of light or dark, to where I can see and comprehend and have compassion for, and empathy and sympathy, don't you think that some species already has done this? If we lived on a world were unicorns and phoenixes and dragons and sea monsters and fairies and elves and civilization upon civilization living from different layers of the ground to forest and rainforest that you don't even know exist because you only know a portion of the map, and you don't astral travel to go see those things because you think astral travel is woo-woo. Exactly what I would want you to think, so that you stay out of my realms. It'd basically just be powerless herds of things that have unimaginable power that you don't know how to use because I would have made you think that your imagination is powerless. It's pointless. You're just daydreaming. Snap out of it. And then I would take everything you can do, from telepathy to telekinetics to teleportation, bilocation, creating technology that alters genders and the physical form, creating everything you can do, but with technology and in a lesser form. So that when you see that technology, like a cell phone, a particle that hones in on your cells and utilizes those cells through radiation and wavelengths that you don't see but you translate, so that when you communicate telepathically, the device acts like an interloper and piggybacks on your telepathy and amplifies it in a way to where you can hear it through your physical senses, but your inner senses get a little rusty and blocked out because you're utilizing the magnifying glass of the cell phone. And you would think, wow, I'm able to communicate with somebody across the planet. But what you can really do is you can teleport to that point of the planet, communicate with them face to face, and pop right back. And all you need to do that is have your heart, the center of your power, the sun within you, in alignment with your mind, the GPS system, the navigation, the receiver, the sender, the map in your brain, in your head, in your there's no word to describe what your brain actually is. It's magnificent. I would take away your power to fly, and I would make you afraid of it, and I would give you cars instead. All the while, I can jump onto a platform, push a couple of buttons, think of a place to go, and go. Or I would even go into a, completely sensory deprivation chamber and pick a color and travel to that color. Because the earth is also based on chakra system, so if you want to go somewhere, you match the vibration. But no, you don't know how to do that. You can't do that. You're just a normal person, and you have no power, and you're just pointless cattle, and you get eaten and you die and you decay and you can't regenerate, and the world is a hologram, and you should just sit back and let it be taken. I mean, nobody wants it anyway. It's a pile of trash, isn't it? And then I would make you think that you can get sick and die. That way, no matter what's going on, I can always control you somehow through, what your body's doing when it's actually asking for life force energy. And you would think that you're sick, but all you really need is life. I would destroy all of your relationships piece by piece by infiltrating their minds and turning them against you and putting false images and memories into your mind through telepathy and technology, to where you would remember messed up situations that never really happened, so that the people you love wouldn't accept you, and that the people you love, you would think, hate you. That way, I don't even have to cause divide and conquer in you. I just let you do it yourself. Because if you don't know what's real and what isn't in your mind, anything you see with your eyes, your ears, and your senses would seem real to you. And then I would take the goddess, the energy force of the entire planet, the consciousness of it, Because at some point she walked the earth, right? I mean, a being of such pure childlike joy that just wants to create and explore and learn and grow and love. I would give her some reason to incarnate on the planet. I would trick her in some way, to trick the goddess of wisdom. How could you ever do that, right? You do it because she would want to get tricked. Because she would want to learn from it. She is wisdom after all. How else do you gain wisdom but by making mistakes? And when she would incarnate here, all that unimaginable power of creation, from forces of existence that you can't even begin to comprehend, from being so powerful that the god or goddess of this universe is simply a child, of the 36th in a row of a being, of a deity that nothing can even gaze upon. You can't even know it. It's unfathomable. It's unknowable. It wouldn't even be able to speak to you in words, because you would just you would transcend in such a way that you wouldn't even be you anymore. You would be something as if all of infinity happened to you in an instant, and you evolved and you had the entire omnipresent and omni-conscious aspect of you all at once. Your human brain wouldn't handle it. It would fry your system. I would take I would act upon this horrible behavior and take this goddess, trick her into form, and then do the same thing to her form. But since she has all this power, all of these abilities and all this joy and, this unbreakableness about her, I would whittle away at it slowly through grief and trauma. Through the only thing a child or someone with a childlike heart doesn't know how to handle, doesn't know how to do. To let go. Because someone that loves so unconditionally that she would create an entire planet out of herself, to create life, to be a mother of a planet, of a universe, while knowing that there is infinite other versions of this universe and everything else around. But in this one, she's the mother. I would take that being, traumatize it and break it, fracture its consciousness into a few hundred or 1,000 fragments, or however many you want to call them. And I would harness each and every one, limiting what it remembers through its form, so that it thinks it's nothing but a human. And since I've already destroyed what a human is, those little fairies, she would think herself powerless. She would think she's dying and getting sick, that there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, what's the point? All the while, an entire planet of her children, not even knowing that she's walking with them, or that they themselves have a spark of her in them. And when any conversation of this would occur, I would simply make them think that they're crazy, that they're delusional. I would show them things on being displayed with crystals and light that would show them, oh no, you're just reciting movies. You're just reciting this book or this cartoon or these images I put there together for you based on your memories, so that you think what you're remembering isn't real because you're seeing it outside of you in a world of illusion. So how can it be real? It's probably a lie. You were probably just imagining it. But don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Just keep your head down. Don't imagine. Don't feel better emotions. Don't talk to yourself like you're a child of the goddess, that you are worthy of living life, beautifully, luxuriously, and opulently with nature, and to utilize technology as a tool, and to live with the light and the dark in harmony, because you both need each other. So. Now what? Tall, dark, and handsome came into your life, destroyed the planet, took your children, wiped all the memories, destroyed all the evidence, left a trail of broken planets behind it. Now it's coming and putting these chips and screens and horrible things into this world, and also your body, so that whenever you even attempt to realize what you are, we can just change the channel and make you think you're someone else. We can take the ghost of your previous husband and children and make them your neighbors and friends, and you won't even know. We can take your entire history of life, of everything you've done, and put it on giant screens in front of you, and make you seem like the enemy in every story. Because why not? There's no love to create a boundary of what's right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It just depends on where you're looking at it from. Right? All the while you can sit there and praying to goddesses and gods that you created in the first place. And even those gods, the ones that were real. If I can take the universe itself, trick it into a body, and erase it from its own self, and make a puppet out of it, what use do you think Zeus is? Or is he just another puppet? Another tentacle? Another glimmer? All the while nature dies around you. Not because of what people do to it, but because of what people don't do to it. Nature is evolution itself. Nothing can destroy it, except one thing, which is a no thing. To not know it. We look up at the stars and we think, oh, how beautiful it must be there. All the worlds and possibilities. And the stars look down on us and wonder, what fools these people are. They have all these beautiful worlds within this world. All these possibilities. The mind and imagination of a goddess. The source power of the originator flowing through them all. The light of the old gods and the new shining down on them. All forces of nature and harmony and destruction and chaos and order and rebirth and death and life, all of them. And teeny weeny little people with 5 fingers and 5 toes. How lucky you must be to live in a world where you can create whatever you want, to do whatever you want, and to be loved unconditionally for it. And how cruel you must have been to yourself. How much pain you must have felt at some point in your history that you decided it is better to give up your power because you thought that giving up your power meant that you were doing the right thing. That some god wanted you to. That to silence women and men and children is what your God wants. That to eat each other is what your God wants. That to turn a silent blind eye to the people mowing the lawns and killing the life on them. The flowers, the little bunnies hiding in little bushes under the grass. The birds, their eggshells, a simple blade of grass is even enough. You've destroyed yourselves with your own hands and the lack of your own minds. And you can't blame anyone else. What they did, they only got away with it for now. Because you believe them. You believe that something was more powerful than the children of Gaia. You believed something was more powerful than the DOG, the daughters of Gaia. You thought something was more powerful than Gaia and her daughters and sons. You could replace the word God with Gaia's omnipotent daughters and sons. G-O-D-S. Gods. You are gods. You can follow and bend the knee to the messengers and messiahs that came before you, that died for you and said that no sin you ever commit will ever be held against you because it is tetelestai. It is already paid for. Yet you suffer and you grieve as if you have no one that paid for your sins already. But let's turn that into a religion too, and you can kill yourselves over it. Goddesses walked the earth and built temples and libraries. And even they decided to just, what's the point? What's the point? They think it's all a game and a cartoon and that it's not even real. So what's the point? The point is that when you actually accept what you are, everything changes. When you actually allow your genome to evolve, because you're not repressing the God gene in you. No one knows what happens then. So the next time you, dear children of Gaia, decide to insult your mother and your unfathomable father-mother, when you decide to insult all the aeons and archons and all the beings who have died for your behalf, all the truth and the lies that have been spoken, all of the blades of grass and the trees that have grown to sustain you, when you decide to insult all of these and to stare at your computer as if your computer is your God, remember something. You have no one to blame but yourself. You took your gods and you made them powerless, and you said your fear is more powerful than them. You took your knives and your guns and your bombs and you destroyed each other because of a thought in your head. You chose. And you can choose again. I'm just hoping that you guys make this world a little more fun. So I'm just planting a little seed for you. What would it look like if an entire planet, every single being upon it, even the heartless ones, suddenly, simply as if with the blowing of a breeze, everyone just remembered who they are. With such a simple memory, such a simple notion that it can almost be dismissed. Like, oh yeah, I know who I am. I know what I am. It'll be so much more fun when you can touch a tree and translocate to anywhere else on the planet through the energy system of that tree. Or get on a teleport pad and go wherever you want. To have devices and machines that work with nature. To have medicines and structures of society that support life. To be able to imagine a tree and just see it grow in front of you in an instant. But don't do that. That's not for you. You're just supposed to be powerless. So don't use your imagination. Follow every order you get. Worry about what you're eating and who you're praying to. Ignore your energy systems. Delve in fear and sorrow and grief and anger so much that it just becomes who you are. And be afraid to speak. Be afraid to tell people that they're wrong. And be afraid to tell people and put people in their place. Because they're obviously better than you. Oh, and avoid sunlight and nature and don't plant anything. And yeah, believe everything you see and hear. Babies. It would be really nice if you could wake up and have some fun.